Moving forward, now it comes to the shared parameters because the requirement was uh, to have a parameter which has a scope across the project and the family. Even if we created in one family, it should be appear in the schedule in the project. Also, it can be the same parameter can be tagged. So that means that particular parameter can be accessible in the tag family itself. So that is why there is a common txt file being created while we create a shared parameter. I have created one shared parameter, but I will try to create a new one in front of you so that it will become easier for us to understand that how we create the shared parameters. For example, uh, I created a project parameter which was named as the scope of work. If the same parameter we want to see in the schedule as well as in the tagging, also we want to see that particular parameter in the family, because if I open, you see I have applied this parameter to the door family, to the door, and it is available there in the type properties. But still, if I open the door family and I don't find this parameter here in the family, in the other group, you can see only frame thickness is there. Okay. So what we will do, we will try to change this particular parameter from the project to the instance parameter, to the shared parameter. For this, what we will do, first we will go and create a shared parameter from the manage tab only. Just below the project parameters, there is one thing we call shared parameters. We'll just go. And there are already some existing shared parameters which has been created. What I will do, I will delete this. Don't want to use this because I will create a new parameter file for you. We'll go for this one also. We'll delete this. Okay, anyways, we'll just go and create a new file. Let this file be there. I'm just going to create a new file. We'll discard this test shared parameter. Today's date is 2808. Test parameter txt file. This is what I'm going to give the new name to the file. Once we create this txt file, you can see in the folder it's been created. Here we have this file. If we just open it, we see there is some coding has been done, something. But it is strictly recommended that do not edit this file manually. There can be some accidental issues. Anyways, okay, this is created. Now the next step is, because we are not finding anything and any command active to create a property to move in the parameter group, because first of all we need to create a group. This is how we segregate the different shared parameters under different groups. For example, I'm going to create a parameter under the group walls, and now it becomes active. I'm going to create a parameter named scope of work, and it is going to be a text parameter, for example. Scope of work is done. Again, I'm going to create a new group named the same, it is for door. Let's just check it for this wall only. Okay, it's been created, but still it is not the part of the project parameter. It has been created. I am just going to delete this just to avoid any confusion, or just better I just rename it. In the prefix, I am going to put PP. This is project parameters. PP is proposal. We'll just check that in the property of the wall, it's been renamed to, so it's in the type parameters. It's been renamed to project parameters proposal. Okay. Now I'm going to add a shared parameters. I will create one, and instead of project parameters, I will just select the shared parameters. You see, now you are not able to write the parameter name because it has already been done there. And it is up to us whether we are going to make it an instance or type. Now this time I'm going to make it an instance parameter under the category wall. And the group parameter we can change. Again, I'm going to have this in other group. Okay. So I'm going to create a new parameter, shared one. Okay, I'll have to select the file first. I haven't selected. We'll have to select the file. Here we have that shared parameter file. The parameter name is the scope of work. I can edit this also, but I'm just going to select this one, which has already been created. Going to make this an instance parameter, and under the category of group category of others, now I'm going to press OK. Okay. If I select any of the wall in the instance properties in the other group, we find a parameter scope of work there. This is one thing. Okay, I'm just going to check whether this is included in the schedules. One schedules I have already created. We'll check that schedules only, wall schedule. This was actually previously created with the same name. I will just remove this and then have it again to have the correct name. This is project parameters, scope of work, and then I'm going to introduce the new one, which is the scope of work been created as the shared parameter. You can see it's also there. If I put any value there in the wall property, for example, A, B, C this time, and then X, Y, Z for this particular wall, because it is now instance parameter. You can see there are two walls having two different instance properties of the scope of work. First one is ABC, and then second one is XYZ. This is one thing which was also doable with the help of the project parameter. But the next thing, which is the tagging. If I go to this tag family, I will just edit the family and try to see how to add that scope of work shared parameter under this family tag. You see that it is not still available because we have not created in this family. We'll just go and create a new. It allows you to create only the shared parameters. You'll just select and then say scope of work, select, okay. And now we can take it here. You can replace the type mark, which was already used, to say okay, and then load it back to the project. You see this property is now tagged. It is tagged. This is XYZ. Suppose I'm going to create a new wall and I'm going to put the same tag over here because it is not having any value in the scope of work dialog. 1, 2, 3 this time, and then see it is visible. So this is the difference of the shared parameters, which make it different from the family and the project parameter as well as the built-in. The next thing is global parameter. Before discussing the global parameters, I would like to ask if anybody is having any question regarding this shared parameters.
Global parameter. Okay, Rafi's question is about global parameter. Please go ahead. We have one question at least. Okay, Kashif, let's go to the next one. Global parameter. Everyone has confusion about it. We don't know what is it. You have to give us it.
Because the structure scheme is also here, I have a very specific thing related to the column and beam tag here. If it is required, so I can give a small demonstration for the beams and columns tagging as well by creating the shared parameters. If it is required, so I can show. Otherwise, I'll move to the global parameters.
Yeah, okay. Please.
Okay, as you see, these are the basically concrete beams, and these are the columns. We have three types of I've created three types there for the beams and then three types for the column, which is already there. Okay, I'm just going to tag them. Tag by category, you see, when we are tagging it, what we are seeing that it is actually taking the name of the type. Is it 400 by 800 millimeter? This is actually because of the name has been assigned 400 by 800 millimeter. What if we want this to be there in the name of the beam, but we don't want to see it in the schedule, in the tag? What what if? Because you can see and you can check this the tag family. In the tag family, in the label, we see that it is meant for the type name, but not it is not governing by the size of the beam actually. Uh, the disadvantage of this, even if I am not changing the size of the beam, here in this case it is okay. It is 400 by 800 and name is also corresponding to the same. Even if without changing this, I'm just going to duplicate and make it, for example, 600 by 1000 depth beam. Without changing the dimension, what it will do, it will change the tag, even if the beam is not of the correct size. But the thing is that only the name is correct, it is taking the property. So this is the first requirement, that what if we want specifically want these B and H to be the part of this, the tag family. This is one requirement. The other requirement is that if we are willing to check the width and the depth of the beam, the schedules, the quantities, structural framing, will take family and type, and we don't find the B and H anywhere, because those parameters are basically there, which can change the geometry of the beam. But unfortunately, those parameters are not available in the schedule. Because what is the reason of that? Can anybody?
That is not shared by.
Exactly. That is not even the project parameters. These are basically the family parameters, and they have their scope limited to the family itself. So what we can do, just go edit the family and go to the family types. We can just click on this B, just edit this and click on shared parameters. Just select the shared parameter file which we have already created. Edit this, create a new group name for structural framing. Here we can segregate different parameters with the help of the categories. And now I'm going to give this a name B. We'll go with the same parameter name because there is, in order to avoid any confusion, we'll take this name as B as it was previously done, B. And now it is a shared parameter. We can just again cross check. Yes, this is a shared parameter. Again, in the next parameter, we'll do the same thing. We just select the shared parameter, select the same file, edit. Under the same group in the structural framing, we can create another parameter naming H. Okay. In the data type, it is by default length, H, H, and then H. Okay. Oh, okay. It is mistakenly taken B. It was already there. Just click on share parameter, select the same file, take H, and now press OK. It's done. Okay. And just load this family back to the project, overwrite the existing version of the parameters. Now, this has been set to the shared parameters. First, we will check in the schedules that whether we are able to see this parameter there or not. Just see B is already there. And if we press H, it is already there. Now we have the B and H, both of them appear in the schedule. This is one thing. This is one advantage. And then accordingly, we can have a calculated parameter at the end, say the volume with the help of the volume. We can apply a formula. Okay, first we need to have the length of the beam as well. Length of beam is also required for calculating the volume. Concrete volume with the help of this volume, B into H into, oh, sorry, into length. These three listed items are being multiplied here to get the volume. Okay, concrete volume. You can see it in the schedule. It is already calculating the volume 400 by 800 mm into 6100. It is 1.95 cubic meter. You can do little one conversion length and concrete volume. We can calculate total so that if the bottom, if it is desired to have the total concrete volume, grand total, we want to see the totals only. We can see the total of the concrete volume. Okay, this is one thing. This is one advantage of making this parameter as a shared parameter. Again, I'm going to change the family tag. We'll edit the tag family once again, edit the label, and create the same parameter here, selecting the structural framing group. B is already created. And then again, H is also created. Now we have both B and H. We'll remove this type name. We'll first take B and then H. What we can do between B and H, because it will give you 400 and it will give you 800. There has to be a gap. We can add a suffix in the form of this X, small x. And here we go. This is done. We can load it back to the project. You see now it's actually taking the dimension of the correct dimension of the beam, not the name. Even if the name is set to 600 by 1000, but the correct dimension of the beam is 400 by 800. This is the another advantage. This is something I just wanted to show the structure people because I find it useful. If there is any question in this regard, can anybody can ask, and whether you find it useful or not.
Kashif.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear.
How to control the gap between the 400 and the X? The space between the X, no? You have something, no? In between.
Here?
Yeah. Okay. We have one option. Just tell about that one also.
Yeah, this is one thing, spacing. This is a spacing. We can increase the space or we can have the zero gap also there. For example, I'm putting it 0, so it will reduce the gap and then we can load it back to the project. Override the program. It's there. We can increase the gap, we can decrease the gap, or also we can stretch this window or we can compress this window. This is up to us because this is not the subject, so I was not putting more light onto it. Anyways, if anybody is having any question that what is the importance of having shared parameter instead of this family parameter, because it was not at all useful, which was previously set by default. It was not at all useful when you were not able to put the value in the schedule. You were not able to tag them properly. It was only dependent on the type name of the beam. The same things apply for the column, I can see. This is also applicable to this. The other things also.
Steel beam also. Rashid, we can use these steel beam. Steel beam.
Anywhere.
Steel beam, no?
Anywhere. We can we just
show one.
Sorry?
Just to show one example. In steel beam.
Can we use it for wall also?
Yes. So it is applicable for, because I just don't want to be specific to wall, to window, to anything, to steel beam, because we also have the other options, and for steel beams we have 2 or 3 sessions specifically dedicated. So I would prefer to take that for the steel beams in that particular session. But yes, it is applicable, but the process will remain same. We have to check whether the parameters available there are actually the family parameter or are they appearing in the schedule or not. This is first thing we want to check. If you want to make them the shared parameter, yeah, please go ahead. Somebody's carrying something.
This question regarding about the tag in steel. Just change and check it.
Your voice is actually not very clear because of that disturbance. I'm telling you, some audio problem is there.
Just change one beam in steel and check the tag. Is it work or not?
This is steel beam. You see structural framing. This is a steel beam. and I'm going to put this
Uh,
tag here.
uh,
I'm going to check the parameters being used for this steel beam. I believe most of them are the family parameter. Which parameter do you want to control? The width.
We want
The width and the
beam
height.
size, no?
The width and the height. Correct?
No. Type.
No, this is type. Is it T or C section, whatever?
UB like that, no? UB.
Universal beam.
UB
Yes.
305 into type name. Type, no? Above. Type.
The default type name.
UB 305
Yes.
into 1.
That's the size of it.
Yeah. So you want to see this particular thing in the tagging? Okay, you can have, you can always duplicate this tag because it was meant for reading the beam size. What we can do, we can just duplicate this and then save as. I know tag structural framing. I would, for now, I am just adding a suffix with _2. We can rename it according to your requirement. We'll save it. And instead of having these two parameters, which were set to be shared, we will remove these parameters from here. Again, I will take the type name. It was already there. The type name we can take again. And then we can load it back to the project. For this particular beam, we can use this. So this is also a structural framing tag. This is also a structural framing tag, but you see multiple families are selected. This is another tag. This is another tag. Is this what you were talking? You were asking?
Yeah, just 1 minute. I will explain.
Okay.
So the tag, when you choose the tag and you go inside and try to select a family, this time you have changed it to another tag. You saved it as suffix.
No, this is type name.
I will
See, Kashif, they don't want the type name. Instead of type name, they need to extract the parameters from the family.
Name only here is appearing.
Oh, okay. Actual size.
Actual size we want.
Because actual size
Yes,
is there in the parameter.
We'll have to check whether this information is available either in any form, because 305, 165, and 40 should be there anywhere in this beam. I think this is centimeter.
No,
this is
the one. Yeah,
This is in centimeters.
These are centimeters, and this is giving us the millimeter value, I believe.
Yeah.
So I think this should be the same thing. I'm not sure, but 160. What about okay? The width is 165. It is taken correctly. So we'll have, that means we'll have to change this. And what about 40? Where is 40? It's not there. What about
Thickness
40?
is 40 points.
Yeah.
Do you find it anywhere? This is, I mean, normal weight. The last.
No, this is weight. This is the thickness. This is the flange thickness.
Flange thickness.
We are talking about. One thing I'll highlight here is that this is an universal beam. We cannot have different types. So this is the perfect shape. It has to have this name.
Yeah,
we cannot change the size.
There are standards,
so,
but still, if it
this
is
is not same as
yeah.
normally we can change, but this is standard.
okay.
Okay.
We can use the type name.
Still, if it is specifically required, we need to find out that which parameter is taking this value. Accordingly, we'll have to create those parameter and to make those family parameter to be as a shared parameter. And once it is done, that can also be included in the tag family. But in that case, also we need to have a different tag family, because for this we are having only B and H, B into H.
Yes.
For this one, we need to have a different tag family. So we can name them accordingly, that this is the tag. Once you select this, you will have an option in the type selector whether you want this one or you want this one. So you can have number of tag family there. For all the steel beams, you can apply this one, which you can create on the basis of the dimensions you are having. I hope this is clear.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So,
any other question related to the shared parameters?
For what?
Can you show it for a while one more time? What is the question really?
same tags if you want to know the thickness of the wall and the detail. Because always we tag wall and construct and the detail drawing. So we want only when they click without
Typing.
The tag name WT3 or whatever you want to see the thickness instead of this. Okay. This ABC that you can see on the screen, Kashif, can you make it to the thickness of the wall?
Thickness of the wall is basically it is governing by the built-in parameter, which is the width parameter, and this is the system parameter. So either we can introduce another parameter which somehow read the overall thickness of the parameter, because we cannot edit the system parameter or which you call the built-in parameter. We cannot edit this.
so we have to do it.
Okay, let me just create a parameter which somehow.
You can add a new parameter and just connect with the WT0. So it will reflect always.
Do you say something? I can't hear.
Okay, more good. Next.
Global parameter.
Very well interesting. Global.